Welcome. In front of me is a HUAWEI Nova 10, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this device. So, I'm gonna begin with everything that I can find under the display. So let's open up settings, then display. And in here we'll have several different things. So number one, we have the dark mode. So you can switch it on or off. Unfortunately, because this is still a HUAWEI, they have a absolutely stupid system, and it will not allow you to have it set on a schedule based like every other modern phone nowadays has. So I guess we should be happy that we have even dark mode, but anyway, so if you want to have basically light mode during the day and dark mode during night, you will need to manually swap between them. I believe you can add a toggle to your toggles right here to switch between light and dark. So there we go, dark mode. It's actually added by default, it looks like. So you can just keep swapping it between it whenever you want pretty quickly, but it's still a hassle that you need to do it manually. Now moving on to the next one, it's the eBook reader. Now this is going to be for people that like to read on their phone. Now, unlike other eBook reader toggles on other phones, this one actually works a little bit differently. So normally you would probably expect more yellowish colors and kind of like a more paper color in general. Now this one just turns everything monochrome, so you don't have colors anymore, and I can just go home and you can see this right now. Obviously this will look a little bit better when you're actually reading something. I mean, there's not much to show. I don't have anything to kind of showcase this with, so sorry for that, but obviously you get the point how it functions. I'm gonna turn it off just because I prefer colors. Anyway, moving on. The next thing that I want to show is the, where is it? The color mode and temperature. There we go. Now, I'm not exactly sure. I don't think it's set to normal by default. I think it's set to vivid. So this will give you a more saturated colors. Normal is the more accurate color range. So automatically apply the standard color space, sRGB or P3. So it is, I guess, in a way somehow color accurate, considering it's based on like sRGB, though I have no idea to what point it's supposed to be accurate. It doesn't give you any percentage right here, so I guess if someone is interested, you'd have probably tested yourself. I personally prefer a little bit less saturated images, so normal for me is usually the go-to option, especially for phones like Samsung. Those have just severely oversaturated colors, but I mean, HUAWEI also has a little bit overdone. Like you can see, the orange right here is just absurd. And so there we go. Now, to be completely honest, this is a matter of preference. So if you rather have everything super colorful, that's good. You can just keep it at that and be happy with those colors. There's no wrong answer right here, so pick whatever you prefer more. I'm picking normal just because that's what I prefer. Now moving on to the next options, we're gonna go into actually refresh rate, which is also right here in the display. So we have the screen refresh rate right over here, and we have it set to dynamic, so balance smoothness and battery life with a max refresh rate of 120. So I'm actually not exactly sure how far they go. Let's just quickly check it in this case. Balance usually flips between like 60 and 120, but in certain phones it drops below 60 for a better battery life, and that is a good thing. Less frames when you don't need them is a better thing, and whenever you're moving up and down, having 120, it will automatically toggle on. So let's quickly just see, where is it? Where's the build number? There we go. So what I'm gonna do right now is enable the developer options so I can toggle on frame rate count. Did I already like skip this? Where is it? Are you kidding me? It's not here? It looks like it's not here. Nice, Huawei. Where to go to remove a nice feature from developer options? Nice to have developer options that actually functions as one. Yeah, no, it's just completely not here. So basically Huawei decides to show you a middle finger and tell you to F off. Fantastic, I love this brand. So I have no way of actually telling you what the frame rate here is when the screen is not moving. So I'm gonna assume the worst, which is 60. And the reason why I assume the worst is just because the Huawei is very nice at hiding things that they don't want you to find, just because they prefer to remove features rather than add them. I used to use Huawei device on a daily basis. Daily basis, there we go. And it was quite frustrating, so I do expect the same thing right here. So anyway, let's just move over to the next thing. So that's going to be a simple mode. Now this will be designed for people that might be visually impaired or just elderly people. So this will be located under System and Update, and it's right over here, simple mode. Now I will enable it, though I'm gonna turn it off later on, just because as you can see, once enabled, it makes the icons absolutely humongous, and it does have also a weird effect on the letters, so it kind of like highlights them. On the camera it looks a little bit weird. It's not the nicest thing to see on camera, which I can see right now what you will be seeing, but personally looking at the display, it's not as annoying, it's just more popping out. Now going into the settings, everything should be also increased in size, as you can see, and you do have a quick way to exit the simple mode right here and go back to normal. And now moving on to the last option, it's going to be the gesture navigation. Now I believe there was an option throughout the setup process of the phone to switch if you want to use a gesture or just typical navigation buttons, but assuming you have just picked whatever without actually paying attention, or maybe you want to switch it right now, you can find this under System and Update again, and it's going to be right here, second option, System Navigation, and you have the two options right over here. So you have the 3-key nav, it just brings back the old style of navigating to your phone, and the gesture navigation. It also, if you select it, it gives you an option to go through a tutorial. So when you do, it gives you an animation on what you want to do to perform certain actions. So let's say go back in this case, swipe from a side of the screen. You can do that also from another side. Then you have the swipe up to go home. So just a quick swipe from the bottom, and then swipe up and hold to go to recent, like so. And that's it. It's pretty nice to navigate using the gesture navigations, at least I personally prefer it, but obviously to each their own. So if you rather use the buttons, go right ahead and check those on, and I'm pretty sure you already know how to use those. So anyway, with that being said, if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.